Welcome to Street Cred. Today we're debunking the myths. We're telling you the whole truth instead of the half-truths, and there's a lot of half-truths in management. Give you a good example. Change. Whenever a CEO sits down to start typing a speech, there's auto text that comes up, and the auto text says, change is inevitable in today's life. That's amazing, isn't it? It's been used in so many lines, in so many speeches, that now it just comes up as a cliche. Okay, talk about change. You got dressed this morning? Did you change the way you got dressed? You still button up your clothes? Well, there you go. 13th century, in Germany, they came up with buttons, just like these. We're still using them till today. There's no change there. Okay? How much of a change is happening? That's the question we need to ask. We get told as managers, as leaders, as senior executives, manage the change. Okay? You need to manage the continuity more than you manage the change, because it's continuity that's far more important. The change is a small aspect of what's happening. There needs to be continuous movement. Now, if you're not managing the continuity, then you're not managing the change. So, first myth, out the door. Okay? I wrote these down because I wanted to make sure that I got each and every one of them. Now, second one here. This is a good one. World is becoming global. The world is becoming global. Okay, nice to hear that. Here's my view and take on it, okay? When I was a kid, there were sewing machines in every house. People used to sew their own clothes, fix their own clothes. They didn't really take it to a shop. And Singer, S-I-N-G-E-R, was a company that produced these sewing machines. They were global. Apple is global. If you're a global company, then does more than 50% of your sales come from international interactions? If that's the case, then you're global. Yes, okay. But not everyone can say that. A lot of them are local to the nation. Okay, so not really global. Fact. Some businesses have been global for a long time. Many remain local. Interesting, isn't it? It's easy to put out there, but it's difficult to actually back up the words. So, global, myth. Throw it out. Okay? Here's another one. Management sits on top. On top of what? An anthill. Okay? Well, if the CEO sees himself as somebody sitting at the top, and the CEO is somebody who is in charge of everything and responsible for everything, my view is that that's a terrible place to be sitting. Give you a good example of IKEA. IKEA is a great company that started selling self-assembly furniture. How did that come about? A worker was trying to put a table into the back of his car. He dismantled it and it fit in. All of a sudden, ding, light bulb went off, right? It's because that person did that they could feed it upwards, and the CEO ran with it, with their board and with everybody else. But here's the thing. Okay? And think about this carefully when you say this. For everywhere, from everywhere, you're going to get little insights. Okay? And these insights, they emerge into big strategies. So sitting at the top is probably the worst thing for any CEO to do. Sitting at the top is not going to create or bring about that change. It's not really going to give you the insight that you need to build that organization into the next IKEA. Okay? Next one. We're getting rid of all of them today. Okay, let's have a look at this one. This one's a good one. Okay? Half truth. Organizations need heroic leaders. Okay. I don't know who's going to become the next Jordan Belfort. Okay, but a startup company needs aggressive leadership. It does, because there needs to be a lot of guidance that happens at that point. There needs to be a direction, a vision. There needs to be a goal that's happening. But the large majority of organizations out there, do you know what they need? They need quiet, humble, and thoughtful leaders. People who use their minds. People who are respectful. People who are humble. You don't really get that enough, because there's enough of narcissistic behavior within the executive ranks. You don't need leaders who are like that either. You don't need politics either. Okay? In the army, okay, now moving on to the next one. This is a really good one. People are human resources. Okay, I don't know about you, but I'm a human being, not a human resource. In the army, people were known as assets. Move that asset from point A to point B. Oh, very nice. You call them an asset. HR calls them human resources. Airlines used to call them self-loading cargo. Now, how bad is that? Self-loading cargo, okay? I'm a human being. Resources are things that you throw away. It's people that make companies. It's people that create organizations. It's people that put you on the map. Not resources. Not resources. Resources is when you open the tap and you have a resource of water coming out into a resource of glass. Nice. Okay? Let's try another one. If you can't measure it, you better manage it. Oh, nice. If you can measure it, be careful managing it. Now, let me help you with this. And I don't know where this comes from, okay? But I actually found this in a management magazine. Okay? Important stuff. We say culture is important, management is important, engagement is important. Can you measure culture? Can you measure engagement? Can you measure management? Can you? I don't think you really can. What's the unit of measure for it? Don't measure it. Okay? Respect people. Look at you. Your KPIs, your KPAs, whatever you want to call them, are guides to give you guidelines on how to manage people, on how the landscape is shifting. Don't say you can measure it. You can't measure it. Okay? People occasionally stumble over the truth. Here's a good one. But most of them pick themselves up and hurry off as if nothing happened. Look for the truth. Don't look for the myth. Look beyond the line that people spewing out. Just because it sounds good doesn't mean it has to be. I'll see you soon. Street Cred Manager, take care.